If AMR were just one disease that threatened to kill hundreds of thousands of Europeans every year by 2050, our politicians would be leaving no stone unturned to make sure that that didn't happen.
In 1928, Sir Alexander Fleming, this guy, revolutionised modern medicine when he discovered the world's first antibiotic. But it was this very same man who warned us that this discovery would begin an era of abuses. Fast forward to the 21st century, and this prophecy is becoming reality, with the excess use of antibiotics in humans and in agriculture, leading to infections becoming resistant to treatment. This phenomenon is known as antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. In this episode, we are travelling to 2 different countries exploring the abuse of antibiotics in humans and agriculture. We travel to Romania, where AMR is already a cause of death, and to Belgium to visit an antibiotic-free farm.
People have heard of superbugs, people have heard of hospital-acquired infections which are difficult to treat with the antibiotics that we have available today. Essentially, this is what AMR is. And that's why it's such a serious problem, because it means the drugs that we take for granted right now are becoming less effective as the bugs become resistant to the drugs that we commonly use today. What a future without effective antibiotics looks like around the world is almost unimaginable. The projections are 10 million deaths every year worldwide by 2050, including hundreds of thousands in Europe. This is a public health catastrophe unless we do something about it now.
Considered to be in the red zone, with some of the highest rates of antimicrobial resistance within Europe. On an average day, 600,000 Romanians take antibiotics. In the EU, an average of 7% of antibiotics are taken without prescription, whereas in Romania, this figure is 3 times more at 20%, the highest rate in any European country. In October 2015, the Collective nightclub in Bucharest burnt down during a concert. 64 people died in the fire or in hospitals, making this the worst tragedy in Romania's recent history. We went to meet Eugen and the Associat Collectiv to find out how this story was linked to AMR.
Sunt Eugen Iancu, tatăl unuia dintre copiii morți în colectiv. Mort de fapt în urma incendiului din colectiv. El a murit după 3 săptămâni. Spune că în orice stat civilizat din lumea asta, cu arsurile pe care copilul meu le avea, ar fi supraviețuit. În România a murit strict din cauza bacteriilor. Bacterii pe care el le-a dobândit din prima secundă în care a intrat în spital. Din primul minut i s-au administrat 3 antibiotice cu spectrul larg, pentru că ei i le-au dat preventiv, știau că în acel spital va lua bacteriile imediat. Într-o perioadă de 7 zile au murit 4 copii în același spital, toți infectați cu bacterii.
Eugene introduced us to Silviu, a young survivor of the collective fire.
I'm Silviu Ciocanelli. I'm 23 years old and I like to make music. I'm in a band.
What's your band called?
Familia Jeff. Collective was a club where I was before at a concert of one of my favorite bands. Didn't expect anything to happen rather than good music. It was a very good band. And then the shitstorm happened. Fire was raining on us from the ceiling and it was quite difficult to get out. I got into the first car that was going to the hospital. I passed out and after 3 months I woke up in Netherlands. I was like severely burned, my hands were burnt, my back, my head, and I almost died to infections. The skin kind of healed, but the body was still infected with bacteria. I was in complete isolation for a couple of months. I understood that they gave me the strongest antibiotic possible, like colistin.
Colistin is known as a last-line antibiotic. It's a drug of last resort. So if you have an infection which is proving resistant or difficult to treat by the standard antibiotics, colistin is the one that your doctor would fall back on. Trouble is, colistin has been used routinely around the world in intensive agriculture, especially for pigs and especially in China. Just a few months ago, colistin resistance was found in China, and much quicker than anybody expected. Within just a few months, colistin resistance was found on every continent. And we also need to look at agriculture as a major cause of antibiotic resistance. In the US, about 80% of all the antibiotics used are going to animals and livestock rather than to people, to patients. In Europe, it's about half and half.
Next, we travel to Belgium to meet Jean-Pierre and hear about his initiative to go antibiotic-free.
Au moins d'antibiotiques que vous employez, au plus fort les porcs seront. Leur système immunitaire est tellement développé que une bactérie peut arriver ou quoi, ils vont y résister, ils vont la surmonter. La différence entre une ferme conventionnelle et nous, c'est que nous faisons tous nos aliments à la ferme, avec comme base les céréales qu'on a produites sur la ferme. Mais la différence avec les fermes industrielles, c'est qu'eux, ils achètent leurs aliments tout faits. Et nous, dans nos aliments, on met dedans ce que l'on veut. Donc si on décide de ne pas mettre d'antibiotiques, on ne met pas d'antibiotiques. Tout est dans la nature, hein? Mais on va chercher beaucoup trop loin. On nous a désappris cela pour pouvoir vendre des produits industriels. Ça ne nous intéresse pas d'empoisonner les gens. C'est une question de respect pour le client. Le client nous respecte en venant acheter nos produits et nous on les respecte en ne mettant pas de produits nocifs dedans, c'est tout.
Tell me about your organization.
După colectiv, am înțeles că trebuie schimbat ceva. Atunci am spus, trebuie să facem o asociație. O asociație la care au aderat o parte din părinții celor decedați, o parte din răniți. Trebuie să încercăm să punem presiune asupra statului pentru a produce anumite schimbări. Am încercat împreună cu Ministerul Sănătății o campanie de informare a publicului, a medicilor de familie și a medicilor din spitale. Am încercat să educăm să nu mai consume, să nu mai încurajeze consumul de antibiotice. Din păcate, în România, populația ia antibiotic aproape pentru orice. Orice răceală, orice durere de cap, noi luăm antibiotic.
What will happen if Romania doesn't tackle resistance?
Vom ajunge să nu mai avem medicamente care să ne salveze.
What AMR means is that routine minor infections, a cut on your hand, a chest infection, urinary tract infection, might become fatal if we don't have effective antibiotics to treat them. It also means that routine surgical procedures, very normal everyday procedures, minor operations or knee replacements, hip replacements, even childbirth, these become much more risky and could even be fatal in themselves if we can't count on our antibiotics to keep us safe. Because of AMR making them ever less effective, we're really in trouble.
Within the EU, not enough is being done to combat AMR. Big pharmaceutical and agricultural companies are pushing for voluntary measures rather than concrete regulations to reduce the abuse of antibiotics.
The European Union has recently adopted an action plan on antimicrobial resistance, which doesn't go far enough and doesn't go fast enough to tackle the scope or the urgency of the problem that we're facing. I think that's because politicians find it pretty intangible. We're not talking about one disease, but we're talking about resistance to bacteria in a broad spectrum of infections. So it's such a wide-ranging problem that needs responses from all kinds of sectors. So in Europe, we do have some really good examples of best practice in curbing antimicrobial resistance. Sweden is a leader, the Netherlands is a leader, the UK has done fantastic things, which is about prudent use, reducing unnecessary use of antibiotics. They've been really effective. But the trouble is, they're going to these huge lengths, but if their neighbours and the rest of Europe other countries around the world don't make the same efforts at the same time, we're still going to be left with massive holes in our safety net. Antimicrobial resistance doesn't stop at borders. It's a cross-border phenomenon, and a problem in any country is going to be everybody's problem.
I saw the difference between a regulated system and a less regulated system. Like the Romanian health system doesn't have any protocols for the burn patients, when the Belgian one has like, I don't know, 60. That regulation helped me be alive today.
Broadly speaking, regulation could be a key tool in reducing resistance, but with AMR, it's complicated. Because resistant microbes can be found in humans, in food, and even the sea, we need comprehensive regulation, and we need it now.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Find us on Facebook.
What are you
Family
called?
Jeff.
Family Jeff.